where he or she comes from, not from the perspective of language or the tribe. And that's why when an individual understands clearly the concept of normal classes where we go through, what happens, this is what always happens, when you have a course or you have a subject that you find it difficult in your class, you work together with you. Let me bring it this way. What are some of those issues somebody who does not understand this different? Where does logical thinking will say, do you go to that to a given restaurant as somebody from a tribe or some sort of Continental, Pyramid Hotel, Palm Africa? They are all good hotels, right? Very prominent hotels. Even me, I drive by. I don't go there. No one does it for a dinner. So now, but you look at it this way, somebody who doesn't have that understanding will be focusing on how to think of eating something. What you will be eating today primarily will be determined by your class, not your tribe, isn't it? And even at some point, you prepare differently. The cost will be different, isn't it? Yeah, sometimes you could be eating pundu, but somebody is paying the same pundu for 50,000 SSP. But here you are eating it at 3,500. What of energy on how you be placing hatred on other people? You develop yourself. Focus on how you develop your mind, develop your business. Look at how you create using a transportation system. We are put in that transportation system not as a given tribe, but as a class. We are there. You find you are students. You find you belong to different classes. Because it helps you to see, even you advise your children, advise other neighbors, say, we are in this level now. This is what we should do to move to the next level. This is what we should do to move to the world has been grouped like that, that some people can, you can be using a border and someone is using a car, isn't it? Sometimes you would think that this is an institution that coming from a given tribe. No. Say that I think in Africa here I no longer trust our medical services, so I think I need to check in Europe. When as other children are dropping out of schools, some are even thinking on how they can go to very far distant places. Why? You come to understand that. You know, I started to share my life. I started to think that I don't have a problem with any other person. I can be moving, even the ones who are living. And that's why when you position yourself that way, you'll be getting this friend of yours from a different tribe. And then you say, my brother, we belong to the same. Let us work together and improve our lives. Because you have worked towards that. So it is very important to have a constructive understanding on how the class affects your professional development, because why? A class is very important, and that is the key. So today, we have looked at the importance of understanding a class for professional, personal, and social development, so that as all of us to join me as we think positively towards other people and think positively, knowing that we belong to a class, not to a tribe. If you find yourself, we will all experience all the rewards in a class system. Thank you.
Yes, welcome back, viewer of SSBC from that segment of the program, the Sundown Beam, that has been engineered Thorn Malegarang with and how you can change your mindset, changing from you need to focus on raising yourself from one class to another. Ladies who have attained a certain level in life in terms of commitment, studies, and businesses, and many other things. So I have this part covered. Let's go and hear from my colleague.
Well, it's a pleasure for us in the studio today to have an amazing guest as a journalist. I'd like to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, one classic lady. She's a journalist, but a journalist that currently did her 8-year-old. And in the studio, I would like to welcome you, Marwa. Thank you so much for to have a bit of your story regarding you choosing to.
I did um, a friend to work on one of the radio stations in 2014. Afterwards, I developed just interest to study in electronics because I like ICT. And then 2015, I came to Juba. From where I wanted training my skills and type. And then I developed also interest into some other areas, which is climate and environmental umbrella.
Now, the journalist with the Press Freedom Day. The press freedom in South Sudan, briefly.
Okay. Press freedom, we usually use to memorize and also enhancing for us the environment. But now also expand on it, make it complex, a good record country. It's not only for one person. It's a legacy. It's a group. This year thing recorded. Some of it's not recorded. I can give an example of over 4 years floods that people are living in greater and Bahr Gaza region also partially. We need still to elaborate on that. How is it affecting people? Our role also to share the press freedom in that way.
How can the society and individuals rather be part of the contribution?
We need to have enough platform to share information. This is the first step. Secondly, we need to as an individual or institution or as a group. The other thing, it was 1 year floods, now 2 years, 3 years. And I can give an example out of one of the trips I've been to in Unity State. The floods, what's going on. Sometimes, unfortunately, we blame one side, and we're supposed to cross-check with ourselves. Instead of pointing fingers, another generation coming in, and how will they also take down the situation, understanding the situation? What have we done so far?
Them on others, maybe the government, maybe protect the environment.
The simple thing is to keep on learning, you know. Luckily, some of us might have a smartphone and access to the internet despite the economic broad area. There are a lot of chances online, opportunities. I can give an example of Kampala Declaration. IOM also avail opportunities. If you are qualified to attend the conference. And it was 3-month research online. You collect data from your country and then share with the media. Afterwards, you filter this. It was quite interesting because I found 18 years old, 16 years old, they're taking part. What about us? Is it impossible sharing the same? We are having we are human beings.
Yeah.
The only difference is maybe the color and there are a lot of opportunities online. Usually, linguistically, you can check with a friend who's good at a certain language. But we have a habit of shying away. We shouldn't do that. Even if I don't know, it's not a shameful thing. I need to know. It helps us like that. We need a teamwork whereby we build up a positive spirit, not a negative spirit, because now we are filled with a negative spirit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's why you find in other countries they are pushing on the young ones.
Line information. This one appeals, or it applies to those who are, having this access to gadget, access to internet, way of contributing to the protection of the environment.
They can contribute in a way because they are a witness of you visit one of the areas, you want to do a story. You ask, how was it by then? So they will tell you a story. So it's a way of collecting evidence. And they can share like, from season A institutions that they're receiving funds. And instead of sharing just figures, they're supposed to put it in action. I've mentioned earlier, we don't hold ourselves accountable. Whether you are a child in a school, or you are a youth in a university, or a student, for instance, or a journalist, for instance. Collecting data, it's a key activity we're supposed to data. Instead of sending recommendation or an email, collect for me this, I want to pay you for that. You see the efforts? Wasting more resources, paying only one person, and that person might exploit that situation. You will fail once or in environment, but I found like it's affecting all the sectors, whether peace and security or humanitarian situation. Look at the influx of refugees. Some of them, they're stuck at the border. Some of them, they don't want to proceed ahead because they don't know how they can sustain the living. Some of them, they need education, you see. So some of them are youth. Did we ask ourselves why? You see, it's not only because of some certain issues. Some of them would say, a solution to help us based on our context.
Currently, as a female, I'm quite sure you have undergone a lot of challenges yourself. How does you, as a female, contribute in the media industry is as an obstacle for them to become female journalists in a specific area of environment?
The challenges will grow day by day in different shape. Because you're a Genovi or South Sudanese, you can make it. But we had a group of mentors plus our parents. They kept on encouraging us to focus on the goal that we want to do. You see, in journalism, going to those sites, it's quite risky. I can say that. But if you didn't take risk, will you know what's going on? You need to take risk. The sources that you will go with, or the people who will facilitate for you, whether it is safe to go there, plus not forgetting South Sudan experienced multiple conflicts to take advantage of this current situation. While people talking about implementation of peace and this and that, for other female who are trying to, it's a plan, it's a life roadmap. You need to have a roadmap for your career, for your life. Like in 2 years, I want to do this. Sometimes I thought of why not having contents, because some of the institutions, media institutions, they don't allow you to share your ideas and then to share some of the human interest stories. They don't allow you to share. Not take the challenge as the end of the world. It's a level up step, whereby you explore. If you are not going to explore, you will not even test that region. I can attest, I know like numerous editors from different international institutions. I've never met them. But the moment they will ask you, you'll find it's more easier to talk about it, but you don't want to look back how hard it was.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. Well, Maura, that is ladies first, and then maybe girls to embark on such professions. As you have said, journalism is kind of a caring profession. So what do people say about you involving in this profession?
Mental issues in a way of you don't feel okay. Why people saying this and I'm doing something okay? You see? They want you to do the next stage. Others, they are courageous to become your mentor and tell you that, okay, I will mentor you in 1, 2, 3, 4. And then others will ask you, what are your weaknesses? This is the question that I love most. You know, when you find someone who will ask you, what is your weakness? It's good to share. To me, my late dad always, he feels worried. After I come back, after 1 week, then I switch on my phone, and then they tell me, so you're still going to those sites? I do tell them, no, an initiative to do it. You never have your grandchildren to tell, or your children. I'm saying motivated. Politician, and then also he was a business person after the separation. So every time that in the night, every time he travels to the Upper Nile, where he was a month without seeing him, you see? And he kept on telling me, this is my job, this is how I will pay your school fees. So I kept on convincing myself, my dad has to be away from home. I don't care. I rather have yes, that's why in journalism we don't have a tribe. In journalism, we are flexible. Yeah. Someone from outside will volunteer to help you to grow. Sure. Who will believe? For me, even I didn't believe. Khalas, you settle. Yeah. But no, this is still just the beginning of the game. Sure. You know, just explore knowing here and there. Who knew it? Climate change will happen. Yeah. How am I going to explore here?
Well, thank you so much, Marwa Ajak. This is Marwa Ajak, a journalist, a producer, photographer.
Sometimes it's like to. Sundown beams, dissecting issues.
Well, journalism is not an easy passion, but something that you take on to get yourself together and present the best, not only for yourself, but for the entire community. Today, we specified into environment itself. You know, it's actually very interesting for you to always see a female lead journalist looking into how exactly the word. You have it in the studio with my colleague right here, Majak. Stay tuned, and as we give you much more of her insight and highlights.
Yes, viewer, this is Sundawn as a journalist and someone who has a passion to specialize in things to do with climate, and we still have some to talk about. Well, what do is not a responsibility of an individual. Someone who thinks that dealing with environment need people specialize, tell such people.
Planting trees, it's a way to contribute to save climate. Agriculture also to protect our climate. There are a lot of ways we can contribute to save our planet. It's not only scientists, or are we going to face this kind of heat waves? It can become like my prediction. Some of them, they are relying on traditional way, sure, up to date. And yet, our media or our industry, we are not sharing this weather forecast in a regular or through radio or through the availability of the platform that they have.
All right, Marwa, thank you so much for your contribution towards this. Any message that you love?
Skill that you have. Positively, but just start that. Take a photo of it, share it on social media with the hashtag. Name it. Hashtag, or your classmates or your neighbors will pick that initiative from there. People can reach, I have a small initiative working on. It's called South Sudan Climate Change Facts, whereby I have had compiled some of the thoughts, and then I'm sharing it in a format of photos that I had from the field. I thought, why not to utilize in those archives and sharing those, building on it with the reports. Yeah, it's a self-initiative. I love to volunteer. I don't expect much from what I do, whether people will come and support or not. But education for the Ministry of Education can just keep it as a model to plant trees every week, a tree for instance, or they need an initiative every 3 months. They go somewhere and plant trees. This is the same. Supposed to start with those are the grassroots.
Yeah.
Those are the fresh ones, energetic enough.
Sure.
For us, we might get tired along the way, and for them, they are not tired because they want to know every time they want to come to join me. And we're expecting also to host, South Sudan also will host the 67th Greater Horn of Africa climate outlook. It's not about who will back you up. Go there, document, and later on follow up. What is climate prediction? What is the heat waves happening? And what is mom season? What is Jeja season? Yeah.
Here, so that we make it immediately.
Sure. Well, I think it is something that needs to involve all of us, and I really appreciate the initiative. And there are so many approach them. You family of people who are with you in the idea.
It's a self-initiative. And the other thing is, I've tried to approach few people. Sometimes people might feel like, oh yeah, they're excited. But the moment they see you are not providing any, the climate summit that's been the declaration, youth support sharing the declaration, and seeing have a category within that policies. But unfortunately now, you know, it's a way of, you have to give pressure. But it's a
And for you out there, this is the Sundown Beam that's done every Tuesday and Thursday, and it's a great pleasure to have you on board.
Well, the first edition of Sundown Beam dedicated ourselves to tackle environmental issues through media and other